Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's Monday Night Football time, and you know what that means. It's time to break down the game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. And to help me do it is my boy Scott Bogman. It's me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia. This is Betting Pros. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel where you're watching right now, because we are hanging out. Going to go over the lines, a couple prop bets, and some things in between. Scott Bogman, I know it was another tough day for your Pittsburgh Steelers, so nice to take a little break from that tragic loss there, and moving on to other teams, and one more game for week 5.
Hey, look, my Saturday was great. Do you see Texas beat down OU 49-0? Biggest win in Texas OU history. Snapped OU's 116 games straight, the longest in the country, with at least one offensive touchdown, no scores. All that stuff was great. So let's focus on the positive here.
Yes,
and we have a good game. We have a good game here tonight.
We do.
A divisional game. Should be a fun one.
Anything's better than what happened last Thursday night. That's for sure. Anything, literally anything.
God.
So here we go. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to Kansas City. The Chiefs, of course, are 7-point favorites in this one. No surprise there. The number's 51.5. If you like the Vegas upset, well, it's plus 278 on the money line. So the Kansas City Chiefs pretty heavily favored in this one. Juju Smith-Schuster dealing with an injury too. We'll see what's going on with that in a second. We'll talk about it. But first, let's talk about this over under 51.5. It's a pretty big number. The Raiders offense has kind of been all over the place. They're going to get Hunter Renfrow back, so that's a big positive there. So that's good. However, at the same time, do you think Vegas can do their part in this game to keep up with the Chiefs?
I don't. I'm going to take the under in this game. And the Chiefs offense has not been clicking on all cylinders. They look good and they look better recently, but they're not, the team like Buffalo is right now. Like Buffalo's offense you saw against Pittsburgh yesterday, they scored all of those points only having the ball for 23 minutes. So, the Chiefs used to be able to do that. They used to be that team. They used to be the number one offense in the league. They're not there. They're still a very good offense. I think they're going to put up a decent amount of points against the Raiders defense, but I would take the under in this. First of all, most of these games are playing towards the under, especially this week. I don't know. I mean, you saw on Thursday Night Football, that was kind of the starting trend for most of these games playing under. Unless you're playing Seattle's defense, I would say you're probably going to hit the under. How about your Patriots shutting out the Lions too?
How about that?
That was the number one offense in the league until meeting the Bill Belichick and Bailey Zappi. So
I talked about it all week, is that is the classic Jared Goff trap game. You got to get him outside, out of a dome on the road. I mean,
not even cold yet though.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just Jared Goff. It's just it's just Jared Goff. I mean, that's what it is. Like, he's been playing well. You feel like things are brilliant. It feels like, you're just kind of going in the right direction. Everything's gonna be fine. But no, it's not. It's not gonna be fine at all. So there you go. I mean, that happens. And I will say it would have been nice to get that victory the week before in overtime. But what are you going to do? Enough about that. It's Monday night. We'll talk about these teams here. Let's get into some of the injuries and some of what's going on here to the team. As I mentioned before, you are going to get Hunter Renfrow back in this game. That's a huge piece. I feel like they've been missing that intermediate passing game a little bit. I know Hollins has stepped up and had some good moments. I understand, when you have Darren Waller coming back too, that's a positive. He's going to be active for this game also. But to me, I think the Renfrow bounce is actually more important than people realize. It allows them to work the middle of the field a little bit more. What are your thoughts on Renfrow returning from the concussion protocol this week?
I mean, I'm real happy he's coming back from the concussion protocol, but you know what? Good luck, son. Go face the best slot corner in the league in L'Jarius Sneed right now. So, you're up and you get the hardest matchup of anyone this game. So go at it, boy. I mean, I just, it's great that he's back, but it's not the best matchup for him to be back. So I'll be taking the under. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So
some of the interesting pieces here too. You started to see Isaiah Pacheco, little Sky Moore the last time we saw the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you think we start to see them sprinkled in even more today? Because it feels like with this big matchup looming for them next week against the Buffalo Bills, it would probably be a good idea to get those guys some work as well on the field, in-game action, just even a tad more than what you saw last week.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. You never know with the Chiefs. The Chiefs do like to get Michael Burton and Jody Fortson and Noah Gray and all these other side pieces involved, right? So, but we need a field stretcher for this team. We need Sky Moore to do it because MVS ain't doing it. Juju's he's not there to stretch the field. He's there to catch passes over the middle and along the sideline. He's not there to take deep routes. So we need somebody to start getting open on these deep routes. So they have to be respected, and we get more stuff open underneath for Juju and Kelsey. That's the whole name of the game there. So I hope we see more Sky Moore. I think he's the biggest piece to kind of unlocking the potential of this Chiefs offense, because it's just not there yet.
I keep saying that, it's very eerily similar to last year in Amon-Ra St. Brown, where it's like, look, you got this guy with a lot of talent. It's taking a long time to get him acclimated to the offense, but once you get him acclimated, I think he's going to be a difference maker if we could just get that. And I understand giving these guys a couple weeks to figure it out to see if he can get the offense, but we're here already. It's week 5. It's going to be week 6.
Sky Moore was like banged up in the preseason and stuff too.
He was a little bit too, but like at this point, like I get it. You made investments in Juju. You made investments. Like there's a certain money situation where the NFL teams are like, look, we invested in this player. We have to at least try. And there's some point where you go, okay, it's not working. Let's move on to plan B.
Right.
And I feel like plan B is going to show up sooner than later here. And who knows, maybe it'll show itself today in some of the props. Speaking of the props, let's get to some of the things Scott Bogman's got his eye on. Let's start with the Las Vegas Raiders, and let's start with Josh Jacobs here. We talked about touchdown props last week. Boy, what a futile conversation that was on Thursday Night Football. Who would have known?
God.
Anyway,
pathetic.
I am done. I am done with the Broncos. But let's talk about Josh Jacobs here. What do you think about his plus 125? You interested in that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's really volume, man. It is absolute volume that Josh Jacobs is getting. We thought the whole offseason, hey, look, we're gonna get Zamir White involved in here. He fits the system better. They didn't extend Josh Jacobs and making Josh Jacobs play in the Hall of Fame game. We heard blah 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 blah, and then when it gets to it, Josh Jacobs is your all-around third down, all-purpose back. That's the best guy on the team, and we're gonna give him all the carries. That's what they did last week. I expect to see more of it this week because it worked. So I'm excited to see what Josh Jacobs has. I think he can definitely get in the end zone. That's plus a little bit of money too, so we'll take it.
Before we get to more of these, I see some of the comments in the chat here. So maybe some people are just joining us. Just to be clear, this number with the 7 that we were talking about earlier, you were on the Kansas City side for this game,
yes.
Correct? You do think they're going to cover. Okay. Yeah, I am sort of that mind as well. So that's my lean right now. Again, it feels like the Raiders just aren't going to be able to keep up. And I know this is not the same old Chiefs offense, but the Raiders have all sorts of problems. They have problems in the secondary, and this is not a good quarterback to have problems in the secondary. Good to go against. Like, it's a bad situation here. So that's just how we kind of see this one shaking out here. Let's move on to the next prop on the board that you got here. Davante Adams, 77.5 is the receiving number, minus 155. You like the over or the under for Davante?
Let's take the over on that. I mean, you and I both think that the Chiefs are going to be winning this game, probably putting up points. I mean, we just talked about how they're not hitting on all cylinders, and they're still number 1 in scoring, this team. So I think the Raiders are going to have to play catch up, which means Davante Adams with probably over 10 targets. He catches most of what's thrown to him. We got Snead probably in the slot covering Hunter Renfrow, which should leave Davante Adams with some matchups against Fenton and the rookie Hughes on the other side. So I think he's going to eat today. So give me that over easy on Davante Adams.
All right, Davante Adams, it is on the over. Hunter Renfrow, under 4.5 receptions. You've got 2. That's at minus 110. So it's just as simple as first game back, or is it because of L'Jarius Sneed and how well he's played?
First game back and L'Jarius Sneed. This is death by 1,000 cuts here. So look, this is a guy that can go out there and get you 10 catches and no one would bat an eye. Hunter Renfrow can turn into the man. But I think, like you said, first game back, Derek Carr isn't looking great so far this year. He's fine, but he's not looking, there are times where Derek Carr looks like an MVP candidate. We haven't seen it so far this year. So I just think Hunter Renfrow is going to be held to the under. I think if you let someone beat you in the middle, it's probably going to be Waller for the squad. So I think Renfrow will be under that 4.5 catches.
All right, let's continue on to the next one of Bogman's favorites. Let's go to Forston for the anytime touchdown. That's at plus 400. So we've seen Jody Forston, pop up here recently. So you just throwing some money at the wall here today. I mean, look, it's not impossible because when you get to that red zone area, Kelsey's going to get a lot of attention, and he's been open.
Forced it. They draw plays for him. He has 8 catches in his career. He has 4 touchdowns. So if he's up and active in this game, and we expect the Chiefs to score some points in this game. They're the number 1 point scorer in the league. So I think that Forston can absolutely get in the end zone. But this is a dart throw fun one, because the reason we like this one is because there are design plays for him run at the goal line, and he's plus 400. We're 4-1. We're quadding up our money if we hit on this one. So this isn't one to dump. This ain't your makeup bet. This isn't, oh, I lost everything on Sunday, let's go, quadruple it up and put it on Forston. No, this is hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a lot of fun when we see Forston come out on the field near the goal line, because we're going to say, give it to Forston. You're going to be screaming at your television.
Yeah. I like it next week.
Those bets are fun.
Game, to be honest with you, because I'm sure it's going to be at least 4-1 in that one too, if not more, maybe 5 or 6 even. But there's going to be, I can't imagine that game underachieving, but who knows? I mean, I just feel like those teams have such, I don't know, something magic when those two teams get together, those quarterbacks get together, they have something to prove, and they just, in that game, people forget in that playoff game too, it exploded at the end. So if it doesn't even happen right away,
28 points scored after the 2-minute warning or something ridiculous, like
it's just absolutely exploded. And you can't expect that either, but next week, especially depending on those pieces too. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but next week when you've got the potential, if McKenzie's out again, if Dawson Knox is out again, you got guys like Khalil Shakir popping up for the Bills. There's a lot of
Quentin Morris played great at tight end.
Morris is another guy. Too. Yeah. So there's definitely, some going to be some fun options, some DFS options on the board there as well. All right. So there you go. We've got Jacobs with the anytime touchdown, Devontae Adams with the over on the receiving yards, 77.5. Hunter Renfrow, 4.5 receptions. We're going under on that one. Jody Forston's going with the anytime touchdown plus 400. And let's talk about CEH. 47.5 is the rushing yards. You want to go over or under that at minus 115?
My favorite one. This is my favorite one. We're going to crush that. I mean, last week they gave CEH 19 carries. He turned into a bell cow. This is what we've been waiting to see from him. And, look, we all invested in different parts of the Chiefs offense, right? I took a lot of Juju. I know you and Debro took a lot of Sky Moore. Right. If you could spend early.
So far, nobody's happy.
Yeah. Kelsey's the only one that's happy. The CEH people are the happy ones right now.
They are. They 100%
I've got a couple. I don't have mainly Dynasty. Like I didn't go out of my way to draft CEH. I got top tier RBs this year. So I went in that direction, which, cost me a little bit with Javonte already. But look, I've got CEH in a decent amount of leagues, and he's an auto start at this point, getting these touches with the Chiefs, not finding their complete rhythm passing yet. It might come together in this game, but I really like CEH today. So I think he breaks this, if he rips off one big one, he can get most of this. This total is low to me. So I really like it. It's my favorite.
Okay. One. Let's run through some other props that are out available right now. This is over at bettingpros.com. We go to the prop bet cheat sheet where you can see all of the prop bets that are out there, the best place to bet them, the biggest variance too with the projection. A big one here. We've got the prop is at 279.5 for the passing yards for Mahomes. The projection for this one, Boggs, is 291.9. So that's a pretty hefty difference, plus 12 change. FanDuel's got this at minus 110. You can bet this. This feels like one to keep your eye on as well. And I know, I guess the question is, if you give the ball as much to CH as you're talking about and that trend continuing, maybe this puts it in danger. But what are your thoughts on Mahomes and it's 279.5?
I just think the number's too big to bet. That's all, especially with the juice paying under, if it was even, maybe I'd like it, but you got to bet $1.15 to get $1 or whatever it is, or $1.10 to get $1. I don't like that. The juice isn't high enough for me to want to bet on a guy to throw for almost 300 yards. So pass on that. No, thank you.
What about Derek Carr, 0.5 INTs? This is a one at minus 110 over at BetMGM.
I mean, I like that. Derek Carr's been giving it away for free recently, so I don't mind that one at all. But, I think the last 5 interception ones I picked, I've screwed myself on. Whether it's over or under, I just can't pick. They're like Notre Dame for me. Remember last year on the CFB show, I could not figure out damn Notre Dame to find my life. I feel like the interceptions are that for me, so that's why I stayed away from that one.
All right, here's one. We were talking about Pacheco earlier. This number set at 22.5 rushing yards. You think he can get over this?
He can. He absolutely can. I'm just a little worried about like how much are they going to give the ball to CEH, and they keep breaking the secondary guy up. Is it McKinnon? Is it Pacheco? You and I both want and hope for it to be Pacheco. We've seen the Jerick McKinnon show, right? It's good. It's fine show,
right?
But it's not something I would recommend to my friends. You know what I mean? Like I would rather check out a new show, and Isaiah Pacheco's the new show in town. So I want to watch that one. So that's he could easily hit this number. He could crush this number. But also, would you be shocked if he had 5 carries for 7 yards? I wouldn't.
No,
so
of course,
pass.
of course.
Yeah.
No, Sky Moore's at 15.5 receiving yards here. Our projections have him in Fantasy Pros at 21.7. So this was at -104. So it's practically even money on this one. Any thoughts of dipping your toes in this water?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that worries me about this, because I mean, that is one catch for Sky Moore most of the time. It's just the snaps. What is he getting? You know, last week he played a season high 22 snaps. So, you know, are we going to increase that to 30? That would be amazing. Are we going to reverse it to 15? I don't know. So that's why
I think a lot of it has to do with Mecole Hardman's target volume too. Like he started out 6 targets, 4 targets, then 1 the last 2 weeks. So if Mecole Hardman starts to disappear into the recesses, then I think Sky Moore has an opportunity to, you know, kind of go past that a little bit.
And it was you know, a season low, well, not in snap total, but snap percentage for Hardman last week. So if we're starting to see this kind of trend in Sky Moore's direction, I'm going to love this one. This is one I wouldn't like. If you're taking it, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. I totally understand. One catch. That's one catch for him. Most likely he'll get that. So, but will he have one catch? That's the question.
Now, we don't always get to do this, but let's talk about the tight end position here. Travis Kelce, 75.5 receiving yards. You like the over, the under, or you staying away, and it's at -115 on DK.
Whatever Travis Kelce's total is, I don't really care. I take the over. So, I mean, it's Travis Kelce. He's the best tight end in the league by a wide margin. Mark Andrews is, I would put Mark Andrews in his category, but there's nobody else that's even close. So it's those two guys. What is the money ball? There's 50, there's the rich teams, there's the poor teams, and there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us. That's what the tight end position is for everybody else that's not named Kelce or Andrews. Just take the over on them every week.
It's a pretty good analogy there. Darren Waller's at 50.5 receiving yards. Our projections have him right at there. So that to me is a little bit of a stay away. I'd rather have the Kelce one instead.
He
so there you
been
have it.
Consistent enough. Yeah.
No, you can't get there. So there it is. There you have it. Those are the props. That's our look at Monday Night Football. Of course, we'll be back again to do it on Thursday night. Debro and I will be back, and then Boggs and I again on next Monday night. All good things, baby. So go out there and enjoy the games. Again, you can go subscribe to Betting Pros over at YouTube, youtube.com/Betting Pros. Go check us out. Click that little bell for notifications so it goes ding. So you know every time one of these glorious live streams happen. And of course, we got live streams going on Sunday as well, plus all of Scott Bogman's college football content that we got here and all the amazing content at bettingpros.com. So that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Boggs, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.